Hello, everybody. We're back for episode 2 of Eldredge Extra here on the Orleans Firebirds social media. Dylan Pescatore, Ian Nicholas, and Foster Nicholas with manager Coach Kelly Nicholson. Kelly, thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, my pleasure. Great seeing you guys.
And great seeing you as well. Just catching up from last year, what a season it was, going all the way to the championship series, taking it to game 3 against Bourne in a successful season, to say the least. How do you even sum up what last season meant for you, the entire organization, and the entire town?
Well, hey, it was obviously, as you said, it was a special summer. That's the way I kind of sum up last summer. It was special. That group of guys, uh, you guys, Sammy, uh, the ops people, the analytics people, everybody involved, everybody that was part of our organization last year was special. And the thing that I'm going to remember about the 2023 team is that it was it was the most fun I've had back there managing a team. But it was because we had 30 guys top to bottom that were high character, wanted to be there. I think they really cared about each other. They loved competing. We had a couple guys get banged up and stayed. That never happens in summer baseball, right? Matty Hallbach, got banged up and rehabbed and stayed and was a big part of last summer's team. And then Django got banged up and stayed, and unfortunately had to have Tommy John, this fall. But that never happens in the summer. And Django and Matty Hallbach, it just speaks to their character. But it goes, I can think of every member of that ball club, whether it was Jack Penny or Derek Clark or Matty Hallbach or the catching crew. Uh, all those guys were unbelievable young men.
Coach, you look at all the guys who at the end stayed through all the adversity, whether it was a slow start to the summer production wise, or as you said, if you guys were just battling through injuries, the team didn't necessarily get off to the hottest start. But was there a moment in there for you where you knew they were going to be okay and that by the end of the season, this was going to be a group that wasn't going to check out and was going to be competing because they cared about where they were in that moment?
Well, I don't know if there was ever a moment in the summer where we thought, we're going to be all right, because on the Cape, it's hard to win games every night. As you know, if you don't play better than your opponent, you're going to get beat. And it doesn't matter what the standings are. If you're in first, if you're in last, it's just the team every night that plays best. I did think, because of the character of the team, I thought we had a chance. When you have guys like Jonathan Gonzalez get banged up and stay, and Matty Hallbach gets banged up and rehabs and stays, that is contagious. And I thought, this group's special, right? This group is special. Uh, I've never seen a teammate like Grayson Carter before. I mean, if there was a walk-off, there was nobody more excited on our team than Grayson Carter. I remember in that first playoff game against Harwich, he almost beat Jack Penny to first base. Like, if you watch the video, I mean, there's like, if it was football, it would have been too many men on the field, right? Uh, but it was fun to be a part of, man. It was just really fun going to the park every day, being around that group, and watching them compete every night. Um, but that's a long answer to not answer your question. No, there was not a moment where I thought we're going to be okay. There were moments where I thought we might be okay, but there was never a moment I thought, we're going to be fine, because you're never really fine in the Cape League.
Well, coach, the thread there was fun. It was just a lot of
Yeah,
fun.
it was fun, Foster. Man, I'm sorry you missed it, dude, because
Hey, we get to do it again.
we do get to do it again. It was fun.
So as a manager, taking that fun, what did you learn there, and how do you incorporate that into yourself and also what you do to continue on to this next season?
Yeah, I think one of the things that we did that kind of that led to some continuity and led to some fun and led to some togetherness. We stole something from the University of Southern California that Austin Overt and Johnny Olmstead brought, and it's a simple little ritual that we had after games that USC still does, that we passed the helmet. You know, we started passing the helmet to the player of the game. I gave out the first one to a position player, and then that position player, when we won, would pass it on to the player of the game. Now, thank goodness I'm married to an elementary school teacher, because I came home one night and I said, honey, we have a little bit of a problem. I said, this passing the helmet is great, but position guys are just passing it to position guys, and the pitchers are starting to get a little pissed at that, right? Can I say pissed on this? They're starting
I
to
think
get
you can.
pissed at that. She goes, it happens in the first grade. Like, boys give things to boys and girls give things to girls. You're going to have to start doing something for the pitchers as well. So we gave them a baseball. So the position players started passing the helmet, and the pitchers started passing around the baseball for the pitcher of the game, and it worked famously. But that's, credit goes to none other than Miss Donna, and she came up with a simple but brilliant idea that really bonded the pitchers and the position players. And that, I think that was something little that became a lot of fun after every win.
And what a thing that was, in terms of everyone going on the mound after each game and celebrating everyone's success. You've been one to know how winning kind of comes about, and it's not always talent. You've said it yourself. It's about the people and what they bring each and every day. Someone brings something different, and whether it be the people like Andy Blake or Derek Clark, or we can go down the entire roster, Sean Matson, how important is the person to creating a team that wins rather than just collecting all the talent?
Hey, our coaching staff, and I am a big believer in, it's all about bringing the right guys to Orleans. To steal a quote from, Herb Brooks, the 1980 Olympic hockey coach, there's a great story that I saw on Herb Brooks, and they selected their team, and he showed the final roster to one of his assistants, and I'm sure I've shared this with you guys, and everybody probably knows the story. And the assistant said, Coach, we don't have the best players on this roster. He goes, I don't want the best players. I want the right players. And sure enough, that 80 hockey team went on to win the gold medal, right? So that has always really hit home with me, especially in summer baseball. And last summer, we had the right guys, and we got good results. It doesn't guarantee you're going to get good results, but it certainly helps. And so that's the only question I'm going to ask coaches when we're putting our roster together. Is he a good kid? Would you want your daughter to date him? Because I think that is the culture and getting the right players together in the summer are, man, at least to us, that's super, super important.
Well, Coach, you mentioned throughout that answer, even when talking about Herb Brooks, he was talking to his assistant. And I think one of our questions, I know you guys might still be putting together a roster, so I know that might not be solidified yet, but who are the coaches that are joining you this season? Because Max Fesky and Joey Cooper do have jobs at the Division I level. And again, I don't know if anything's finalized there, but who's returning from the staff that has been by your side so far? And then maybe who are some new pieces that will be joining you in assembling this roster?
Gotcha. Good question. Ian, well, we have, obviously, Cole Cook is coming back to assist legendary pitching coach Jim Lawler. So we have Cookie and Jim back to manage the pitching staff. And we're super fortunate to have Cookie, a guy that played in Orleans and knows what we're all about. And then to get a guy like Jim Lawler, who's literally a legend in the game of baseball, especially collegiately, but world renowned, Jim Lawler. So they're gonna manage a pitching staff. We'll have Jay Money back. We'll have Jay Money back to lead the team building and the mental skills part, and Jay will coach first base and help me as a bench coach. And then we have two great great additions in Brock Bond, playing the minor leagues for 9 years. And then we have Ro Coleman. Brock is going to coach third and work with our hitters. And then Ro Coleman, who played at Vanderbilt on a national championship team, is going to join us as well. So we have 2 great additions to go with, Jim Cookie and Jay Money.
When you've got guys like Cole and Jim, I guess what does that do for yourself as a head coach, and also put into perspective for the players just wanting to play day in, day out?
Well, I think they have so much respect for both of those guys. Cookie played for us, got to AAA, played collegiately, had success. He's so good, right? And plus, Cookie offsets me at 64 and Jim at just a little bit older than 64. So it's
He's
kind
in
of
our intern meetings. I don't know if you know this. Cole
What?
has been in our intern meetings.
What's that? Cole has?
Cookie has been in our intern
Oh,
meetings.
I'm
He's
sure he
starting to become
has,
one of
man.
us.
Cookie's just fantastic, and he's just so good at relating to today's player. And so having those 2 guys run the pitching staff really, it just reassures me that those guys are in great hands. Like I don't have to worry about the pitchers at all. You guys got them. Do what you do with them, and those guys are super fortunate to be under such good tutelage with Cookie and Jim.
The 2024 roster has been released on the website. You know it. You've kind of put it together. And usually the question is, well, how did you put it together? I think something that really stood out to a lot of us is you've had a good amount of returners, and you're not going to get that from a lot of teams around the Cape. A lot of players, they come in here and they want to come back. Sean Matson has signed on to come back. Maybe Owen Carpellotti will come back, and some others as well. What does that mean to you when players come here for a summer, whether they win or lose? They have a great time and they want to come back, and then you get some newcomers as well.
Yeah, that means Dylan, that means a lot that they want to come back. I guess it just means that they had a positive experience there. And that's one of our goals. We want it to be a positive experience. So yes, it means a lot when they want to come back. We're super excited to have Sean Matson back on our roster now. Will he stay on our roster? I don't know. Is he going to sign? Probably, probably, but we might get him for 4 or 5 starts, or we might use him in the back end, whatever is best for our team and best for Sean and his development and, future professionally. So we'll see. I'm sure we'll sit down and have a conversation and see what Matty would like to do. And I'm sure he's going to be, hey, Skip, whatever you need, whatever's best for the birds. It's kind of who Sean Matson is, right? So yeah, we'll see. We might have some temporary guys that are draft eligible that join us, up until the draft. The roster is it's so fluid. Dylan, we just added a really good arm a couple of days ago in Matty Dahlquist, a right-handed pitcher from UC San Diego. He's having an extremely good year for them. We've lost a couple of guys. We lost the Gladden kid to Maryland. He's having Tommy John. We just lost the lefty from Santa Barbara. He's having Tommy John. So that happens, and we just have to plan for it. But yeah, I'm excited about our roster.
Just to follow up there, Coach, because I know you said Sean Matson will do anything for your team, and obviously he proved that last summer as a closer, and the pressure that he was able to handle, unreal. But what characteristics about Sean's game allow him to maybe step into a role, like you said, being a starter in the front end of your season if you want it?
Well, Sean Matson he is as good a young man. And Don and I had breakfast with one of our all-time favorites this morning. We went up to Pasadena. The Giants are in town, and we had breakfast with Mark Hallberg. Mark Hallberg, Nate Fryman, who went to Duke, Sean Matson, they're 3 peas in a pod. The character is not going to be any higher. They are selfless. All they care about is helping the team win and being good people on and off the field. So Sean Matson is that guy. He's the kind of person you want on your team. He's the kind of person that one of the 30 major league teams is going to be extremely fortunate to have in their organization when they finally make that decision. So he's starting right now for Harvard. He was really good. He was, as you know, He was really good at the back end of our bullpen last summer. And yeah, we'll just have to see how things shake out and, see how many innings he logs this spring at Harvard and if they go to the postseason and whatnot. So there are some things that we have to consider when we determine what role he's going to have with us.
Sean being one of them, but what does that day in July mean to you when you see these players understand that they get to play on and they're going to keep playing baseball?
Yeah, well, you guys were there when we were at Brewster last year, and we saw those. We saw Johnny Olmstead and we saw Riley Fry get taken in the draft. That's a goal, right? You're disappointed. You're selfishly disappointed that they're going to be leaving you, but you're so extremely happy that they've met their goal, right? And all those guys want to sign, and they don't want to wind up in AA. They all want to get to the major leagues, but the initial step of having them drafted, the opportunity to sign and get on their way to the big leagues is man, it's kind of unbridled joy, right? And it was so cool. I've been in Orleans, right? This will be summer 24. That was one of the coolest moments I've ever seen. When Johnny Olmstead name got called by the Marlins and our team swarmed him. And then not much later, it was Riley Fry and our team swarmed him. So it just kind of showed the togetherness and the love that they, it wasn't fake. It wasn't put on for Twitter or for likes or clicks, or it was just, man, our guys were super happy for those dudes.
Coach, what I remember from that day is, and you said how the entire team was excited, the two names that come to mind for me were Nate Ward and Derek Clark. I mean, I think they chased them up the hill in Brewster, right? And
I think they did. It was
got all excited with both of those guys.
Yeah, it was really neat, man. And again, high character guys, celebrating high character guys. It was cool. It's a great moment last summer.
It was great. And let's talk about some more high profile guys as we wrap up this episode of Eldredge Extra. The last question for you, Coach, is any names we should, and Firebird fans should as well, look out for this season on the roster? Anyone exciting? Anyone that we should really tune in to their college season, kind of thinking about what they could do on the Cape?
Well, I'm kind of like, I'm going to give you a super coach speak answer. It's like when I asked Donna about her granddaughters, hey, honey, which one do you like? I kind of poke her, right? Which one do you like the best? I love them. I love them equally, right? I love them equally. And I love all of our players, man. I love the fact that they're going to be Orleans Firebirds. And you look at those guys that are on our roster that are playing every day, they're performing. I just saw Miola. I was just texting with Steve Tremper at Stetson. Miola hit a homer, I think it was last night, and Chalowski's doing well for UCLA. And, Jimmy Keenan, we just signed him a couple weeks ago, a catcher out of St. John's. And he, Shoop at Gonzaga. And hey, the list goes on and on. I'm going to leave guys out just because of time, but they're all, I'm super excited for each and every guy that's coming to Orleans. Whether they're position guys or whether they're arms, I'm excited to watch those guys perform this summer.
Hopefully they have great performances, and hopefully the Firebirds have a very similar season to last year, maybe with one more win in store for 2024.
Yeah, if we can just get those final 12 outs this summer. We were 12 outs short last summer. I don't ever think about it though, right?
No.
Think about it every day, but heck yeah, if we can have that kind of success and just have the fun that we had last summer, make it a positive experience, and let those guys enjoy being back in Orleans in the Cape League. In my eyes, it will have been a successful summer.
Looking for more success this summer. Coach K, thank you so much for joining us on Eldredge Extra.
Yeah, my pleasure, man. Welcome, Foster and Ian. Great to have you and Dylan back, man. No doubt you guys will be the three best guys on the Cape next summer. Of course, I'm partial, but no doubt about it.
Happy they bended the rules to bring us back, Coach. We'd sign up to be a part of your squad.
Yeah,
anytime.
that's pretty cool. I was stoked, man, because we don't get returning broadcasters, right? I don't know if this is unprecedented. I don't know if this has ever ever happen, but it's super cool, man. I'm hoping you
Yep.
can come back next summer, summer 2025, but you'll probably be in Anaheim or LA or doing something super cool like Sammy's doing, right?
That's
Scotty
the
Gaines,
that
right? You guys are, all of you are on your way. It's fun to see. It's really fun to see.
that's the
Thank you,
absolute
Coach.
goal for sure. Coach, thank you so much. We'll keep in contact, and we're excited to see you in early June.